As we've been building our application, we've already encountered a few directives. Now we have an entire module later on in this course devoted to building custom directives. But here in this module, we're going to cover the built-in directives that Angular provides. So now let's talk about what directives are. According to the Angular documentation, directives are a way to teach HTML new tricks. Essentially, directives give HTML new functionality. As Angular parses through your HTML, it will look for directives and then take action based on what it finds. So in the case of ngClick, whenever it encounters an ngClick, it will register a click handler event on that DOM object. If you'll remember, that was an attribute of a tag. There are actually 4 ways to specify directives with Angular. The first one is actually as a tag itself. For example, the ngForm directive is a tag. The other way is the way that we've seen before with ngClick, where the directive is an attribute of a tag. Here we can see ngForm written as an attribute. And the third way that we can write directives is as a class. Now, not all directives can be written out as tags, attributes, and as classes. Oftentimes, a particular directive can only be written out in 1 or 2 of these forms. I mentioned that there are 4 ways to write out directives, and we have only looked at 3. The 4th way to write out a directive I'm only mentioning for completeness, and we're not going to look at any code samples for this format. This 4th way to write a directive is inside of an HTML comment. How to write directives using HTML comments is beyond the scope of this course, so we're going to be satisfied by just mentioning the fact that some directives can be written as HTML comments. For questions about any particular directive, always refer to the Angular documentation itself. Let's have a quick review. In how many ways can an Angular directive be written? Angular directives can be written a total of 4 different ways: as a tag, an attribute, a class, and as an HTML comment. Can all directives be written all 4 ways? No. You should check the Angular documentation for specifics. Can Angular dig down into your model? Yes. Even if you have a model that has a property that's 5 objects deep that you need to bind to, Angular supports the dot syntax, so you can specify the path all the way down to the property that you wish to bind to.